It's me coming to you live from somewhere in witness protection program. Oh shoot, dang it. You weren't supposed to see my face. I don't know what to do, so I guess I won't use this voice anymore. What was that? That sounded like a really sick trombone, man. Maybe I should keep this voice and just really proper trombone. I will tell you, hold on.
Now that I'm not you. So here's the problem. So I've been talking with that voice for like 10 minutes, and you're like, you've only been recording for like 50 seconds. Yeah, I know.
This is a lot of fun. There's only one thing more fun than this. Man.
Here is where I find out whether Bobby is listening to the program. And we're only a minute and 10 seconds in. And I've already mentioned her name. So just after the 1 minute mark, we'll be able to find out because she will let me know if she hears this.
Hey everyone, this is the voice that Bobby loves so much. She just wants to cuddle it and hold it. Oh, I'm going to use this later in the program. Okay, but this is giving me credence to what I was just about to say. So let me get rid of this voice real quick.
Okay, so when you talk with a voice like that, with headphones on, like if I would have taken my headphones off and not heard the sound, just heard my own voice and have it change in the microphone and not heard it, it would have been fine. But when you hear that, which is funny, I just saw something where they showed a guy, they showed a totally rubber arm, and they made this guy put his arm out, they stuck this under, they covered up his arm, and then they smashed it with a hammer and he jumped. And they said that even though you know it's not yours, you see it and you flinch, which, I should have saved that story for next episode, the stroke episode. So some of you are going to be like, stroke episode, I don't want to listen. All right. Which, maybe. But I will tell you that there will be good information for both ganglies like myself, stroke victims, stroke survivors, and stroke supportees. I don't know. I tried my best. I know I'm rocking. I think I do that a lot post-stroke, which I should have talked about next time. If you want to guess about what ganglies are, you're going to have to listen to the next podcast. Saying the next one sequentially. Number 395. So see, when I know that I did that. So I don't know. It just seems like it should fit in real. I don't. That sounded like it went back and forth, like between old timey and I was gonna say new timey, but probably current time. Today, whatever. So now that I have already buried the lead, so it's funny because we are now 4 minutes into the program, and it's not burying the lead. It's not like you're 2 hours into this, which if you're like, who does a 2-hour podcast anymore? This guy. There's a lot. A lot of us superstars do podcasts. Here's the difference. Besides viewership, listenership, and overall something. That I can do it for 2+ hours by myself. I remember it was the funniest thing. Bobby decided one day that, and I don't remember why she was going to do, I was at work or something. She was going to, this is back in the days when she didn't have to work 3 jobs to support us because I had a stroke. So, she wanted to try doing a podcast by herself because she's like, you do it for 2+ hours by yourself and you just blah, blah, blah. I need to wrap this up because I could talk further. she made it 6 minutes before she mentioned how difficult it was. And I think the whole show was 9 minutes. 9 minutes. So this 5 minutes in would definitely be burying the lead. So I had actually written some stuff down already. And then here I will let you know at least the topics. I don't know whether I'll totally get back to them. This just kind of speaks for itself. I may have mentioned it earlier already. I think that I did for some reason. But again, I've had a stroke, which can be my blame for everything. Why do I seem to have guests after announcing no more guests? Because not like I didn't say there are going to be fewer guests, less frequent guests. Guests would become infrequent on the podcast. I didn't say any of that. I actually said no more guests. Followed up promptly with a show with a guest. Hold on. Did I hit the right button? I think so. I actually spent a lot of time reorganizing those keypads. And if you're like, I actually have the same soundboard that you have, bro. Why did it take you so long? Did I mention I've had a stroke? But I got to figure it out. So hold on. Yeah, I need to change the colors, but I can do that. I know how to do that. Colors on the keypads. Because then maybe they will help. Like rim shot, red. Trombone, teal. That was pretty good, wasn't it? Almost like I didn't have a stroke. Still burying the lead. I keep mentioning that I'm burying the lead, and now minutes have gone by. I mean, we were at 3 minutes. Like, this is how I don't understand how Bobby couldn't do this. Like, literally, I have somehow added 4 minutes to this podcast just in the last 4 minutes, which were not scripted like any of this is. They were not intended in any way, shape, or form to make it on air. Is that, do we still term it? Is that still the right technology, on air? Like I said, I was going to tape something recently. And then I literally was going to punch myself, but I didn't because I've had a stroke. But then later I had a headache. So then I was like, did I punch myself? I don't know. I had to look out of the corner of my eye. So I need to get this mounted right in front of me. So bam! I know. Bobby has told me how much she likes it when I bam the button. I know that button was late. What else do I got on this? I got that and that. What do I got over here? Okay. I feel like I'm missing a sound. Like because I had to take them off to put them back on. That was appropriate. I feel like I'm missing one. I'll have to look. I put them in a file that say for this machine. So I should be able to. Have I mentioned I've had a stroke? If I haven't, listen to the next program because it's all stroke all the time. I mean, at least for that episode. And I will be quite honest, now that I've said the word all stroke, no, there's no way. I mean, this was supposed to be about, I don't know, STDs and old people. Oh, hold on. That needs both of those, honestly. We will get to that. So it was supposed to be, why don't I have any more guests since announcing no more guests? No more guests. Once again, not less guests. The frequency of guests would diminish. I had mentioned no more, and then I immediately had 10. I tell on, and then I think I had Sean Wickens on, and then I'm gonna have Jason on. Now, Are these necessary conversations? Yeah, they are. Totally necessary. Like Jason, so you know how some girls talk about how they attract the wrong type of guy? Well, I think I may attract murderers in and around my sphere, have you? Or I mean, so Charlene, I used to joke about her murder cabin. But then when summer gets here, which I said was murder season, I have not heard from her. Yeah, I send an occasional Instagram and she will like it. But she could be murdering and liking Instagram posts at the same time. I don't know. I've never tried that. I've never tried to like an Instagram post. Boom, boom. Oh, shit. So I'm so used to not having the soundboard now. I actually made that sound. So, hey, thanks. Oh my. I wanted to call. I was going to combine their name. And I will tell you that Derek and Stephanie, the ones that are making the soundboard, these sounds possible for you right now, there's not a good way to combine their names. I tried real quickly, and I'm a genius. And if I can't do it, yeah, I've had a stroke. I've mentioned it. You've heard it. I still don't think if I can't do it, you can't do it. That's all I'm saying. Lead still buried. And I'm already at the 11-minute mark, and Bobby couldn't make it to 9 minutes. I mean, I don't want to say I don't feel like she even tried. But if I was like a coach and not her husband, I would 100% say, I don't think she even tried. Okay. So the guest, that was just a brief passing. Of course, I've somehow made it last 11 minutes. That probably would have been a better rim shot. So I wonder if my stroke affected that. I'm going to talk about it next episode. Has my stroke affected rim shot versus trombone identification? I will find out for you. Why? Because I care. I don't. In fact, I'm not. I mean, I say I'm going to find out, and I may say I have found out, but this is one of those times where I will let you know in advance. I am lying to you. Did I mention this? I don't think I've done this. How have I not done this yet? We're 11 minutes in. This stroke is so, like, memory-wise, it blows dingleberries. Now, what is blowing dingleberries? I don't know. I don't even know what an actual dingleberry is or looks like. If you told me to picture one in my mind, I sure as heck could do that. I almost said the S word, but I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying something new. I am like trying not to have a potty mouth for just a bit. I mean, here's the thing. I think that just based on 57 years of knowing myself, that's all I'm basing this on. I think at some points I will curse again. Not on purpose. Probably towards someone. Actually, maybe not. I don't drive anymore, so me cursing at someone, it's usually that I'm cursing at the big guy upstairs, and he's like, I'm writing this. Hold on. This would be a good sound for this.
I'm writing this stuff down, Tip. Hola. See, even God doesn't cuss.
And if you're like, so that's your voice for God. Yeah, it is. Because it's a lot better than this one.
Bobby, is this really what you want your God to sound like? You want to be listening? If you want to go, please, God, I'm listening for your voice. And this is what you hear? I command thee, you go out in my name and can do such and that other such stuff. Yeah. Like, this is not what you want. Like, if this is what I hear on the other end, like if I'm walking towards the light at the end and they're like, this is the voice I hear. Come towards the light. Come towards the light. And on the other end, I got,
Don't go towards the light, dude. It's cold in there.
I am totally not going towards the light because that voice, although it is beloved by many, especially my wife, like, I don't know. Oh, hold on. Let me try this.
can this voice even do a British accent? Oh, hello. Oh my God. It does. Crap. Now Bobby's gonna be like, heck. Oh my heck. Oh my heck. And if you're like, was that your interpretation of Bobby getting excited and kind of worked up? Yeah, that's exactly what that was. So, yeah, you're welcome, Bobby. The voice is back. I hope you enjoy it, and I will know whether you've listened to this program or not.
Okay. So we are now 16 minutes into this program. And I only mention that because it will probably cause me to talk for another 2 minutes, doubling Bobby's output of 9 minutes. And I don't know if she rounded up. Like, now that I think about it, it was so fast. I probably listened to it like 3 or 4 times and I was like, oh, well, that wasn't bad. It was 25 minutes long. Well, no, it wasn't. I listened to it 5 times. But I don't know if she rounded up. Like that 6 minutes when she's like, this is hard, she may have stopped at like 7:03 and rounded up to 9. 10, you're rounding up too much. Now you're at double digits. Now it's like someone who's 5'9" saying they're 6 foot. No, you're not. Oh my God. No, you are not. Okay. So, Bobby, you're welcome. I'm glad that the voice is back. I don't know how I missed it.
Yeah, Dingleberry, how did you miss this voice? And no, I'm not a Wolverine. I've had some time to think about it, and I'm not a Wolverine.
Okay, so this is what's weird. I am so used to doing not video. Or in technical podcasting jargon, audio only. Hold on. I was not ready for that. I need to move those two. Like because the I probably will rim shot it more than I will trombone it, which sounds like a sexual thing I do with Bobby. Hey, see, I think that's why I'm going to use this more. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was Bachelor in Paradise. So I've talked about this some, but I just cannot. Bobby's watching it last night. I think I found something else more entertaining. And if you're like, what did you find more entertaining, Ro? I don't know. That's how. So it wasn't actually The Bachelor in Paradise. I don't mind the young, attractive people. I was once young and attractive. I'm just going to let you. So, like, if you weren't looking, like, Bobby watches some of our shows while not looking, which I guess is better than not looking while she's driving. I had to look. Sorry. And something out of my way. Something got in my way when I was going towards the button. Oh, I gotta let that play out. Oh, yeah. I just did it with my mouth again. And Bobby will say, thank you. Thank you very much. That I did it with my mouth again. Okay, so Bachelor in Paradise. So I had mentioned to my wife that they should bring on the Golden Bachelor. And she said they were. And I was like, that can't be real. There has to be something in the matrix or simulation that's not going to allow these two, the old people and the young people, to be around each other. She showed me the clip, so they were showing up. I did not wait. Like I said, I found something else unnamed because I have no idea. Unnamed. I found an unnamed show to watch. And I don't want to see that the old people, the way they're going to try with the young people on this, because I think that they've already gotten so I would be horrible like that, because I think I can talk to younger people, which I'm sure I cannot. 100% sure I cannot. And so I think I would be horrible in that situation, and I think they will. And I always joke that my mom has a friend. Her name is Phyllis. Now, one of the largest populations of the growing number, the highest percentage, or one of the highest percentage, is elderly people getting STDs. They live in like retirement communities because bing, 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 bong, bong, bong. And I'm going, maybe a girl could do it. I was going to say it's probably a guy if there's fast transmission, but it could be a girl enjoying her latter years in life, which good on you. Hold on. Yeah. Applause. That's what I mean. That's got to get creepy. Boo. 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 Do I even have that sound? I do have that sound. Oh, good. Good on me. I'm glad that I can touch that button to adjust that sound. Because I will tell you that sometimes I touch Bobby's button and there's a certain amount of sounds that come out. I almost missed that button. Because see, I knew, ooh, that was pretty good. So I should save this for the stroke show, but I think I could feel the difference between the buttons. Now, I will say there is a fairly dramatic gap in between them, like between keys on some keyboards and stuff, and they're pretty raised. So the fact that I knew that they were different don't necessarily means that I could feel them, if that makes a sense. And if it doesn't, for the people that will be new or listening only tomorrow not tomorrow's, but to the next show, which will be the stroke show, they'll understand. So Phyllis, the biggest, so Phyllis, and then you have an STD, which is called syphilis or syphilis. Syphilis, get it? So Phyllis is having so much fun these days, we have to call her syphilis. Boom, got it right. Okay, I'm looking out of the corner. Oh. Okay. This is stuff I should be doing on the next show because it's stroke related, but I'm also doing it now because having a stroke, I will probably forget about it if I don't do it immediately. And you're like, why? That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Yeah, I know. A lot of my life doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Yeah. But so much of it does make sense. And I've got Bobby. Okay, I've still buried the lead, and we're now 24 minutes. She made it 9 minutes. She did not try. I'm going to go back and find that show because Bobby did not try. If she only got 9 minutes, let's say she rounded down for some reason. She didn't. But let's say she rounded down, and the 9 minutes was actually more than 9 minutes. I am at almost 3 times that amount right now, and I'm still trying to get the words out of my mouth. I buried the lead, and I haven't even got further. There's actually but I buried the lead. There's a but after that. So I haven't even finished that first statement. So the fact that I have literally buried what should have been the lead, I have now buried even the second half of the sentence I buried, or the phrase, whatever. I don't know. I didn't, English wasn't my, I do remember flirting with my English teachers in high school because that seemed to get me better grades. The 80s were a different time. Okay. Yeah. Do. Wow. I don't have that sound. I should have that sound, but that may be a sound that I can't use, so I'm not going to use it. Okay. Should I get to the lead? I feel like I should just jump to the second half of what I was going to talk about. Oh, yeah. So let me mention my outfit here. It's a torn collar hoodie. Just my big head trying to get it in and out. So it's a UAF alumni. Woo, woo, woo. That has nothing to do with our school. I put this on because, and it's over. I was gonna wear a polo, a very nice polo. It's North Carolina State, where our oldest child Mo went to, attended for her undergraduate, and so I was gonna wear it. I am wearing it because Mo's leaving in less than a week for Europe, where they will be living for at least the next year. So hold on. So I know that although I am sad that I will not see Mo on a near weekly basis, which is nice as a father, I will go from seeing them like 52 times a year to like a couple over the next year. That sucks. However, if I could trade places with them, if I could be in the situation to be in my late 20s and be living overseas and kind of just living my best life, I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, that's so. Hold on, I got something. Yeah. I will, so I will say definitely with that change, that will be difficult. That will be difficult for Bobby. So I was wearing the North Carolina State polo, and the air conditioner came on, and I got cold. I know that it's the middle of summer. It's literally the middle of summer. It is, as I'm recording this, today is July 15th, 2025. So that means like if you started summer on June 1st and ended it on August 31st, this would literally be middle today of summer. So congratulations on that. I just got sad because that means half the warm days are now gone. Hold on. I do have a sound for that now. Thanks, Derek and Stephanie. Stephanie. Steric. See, it doesn't work. There's not, like, there is not a thing. Okay. Oh my gosh. We're 29 minutes in and Bobby couldn't make it 9 minutes. Okay. I get it. Okay, so bury the lead. So that's why I was going to, I didn't finish. So it's the middle of summer, middle. That's where I got distracted. It's the middle of summer and I got cold. I don't have a space heater in this anymore. As we're doing some rearranging, and I almost said refurnituring. That's not a word, I don't think. And if it is not, it could be. You're welcome, world. I don't have a space heater. And you're like, why would you use a space heater in the middle of summer? And it's like, because it's 74 degrees in our house. I mean, that's 4 degrees above freezing. And if you don't know what I mean, so here in America, we have 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the rest of the civilized world and uncivilized world, and I could have left it at rest of the world, uses Celsius or the metric system. Now, their 0 is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have a 0 here in America, and they have a 0. Okay? So my 0, so on the Fahrenheit scale, not the metric scale, because I don't know what. The only thing I know on the metric scale, I guess, 2 things. So 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And I also know that minus 40 degrees Celsius is the same as minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And you're like, why would you know that? Well, wearing my University of Alaska Fairbanks sweatshirt, alumni sweatshirt, one of the things that young students will do is typically during the winter semester, they will go to, there is a time and temperature sign on campus, and you try to get your picture taken when it's negative 40 because it's negative 40 each way. Well, in my life, so we have 0 degrees Fahrenheit. We have 0 degrees Celsius, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know the Celsius on this, so someone can figure this out. But let's take 70 degrees Fahrenheit now, and that's 0. So whatever that scale is. So like Fahrenheit, 0. And then Celsius, 0, 32. Row, there'd still be a 0, a 32, and a 70. What that scale would be called, I don't know. Rose scale. That doesn't roll off the tongue. It doesn't ring well, nothing about it. Yeah. But yeah, I get cold. So I don't have a space heater in here. And when I was wearing this shirt, the air came on. And did I mention that it was 74? Now, did I also mention that my 0 rose scale is like 70 degrees Fahrenheit, unknown at this time Celsius wise. 70 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees row. So this is typically, if you want to go off the Fahrenheit, if you're comparing Fahrenheit to, and I don't know, I could probably, pre-stroke, I could do the math. I think I could do the math given some time to concentrate and not try to think that I need to talk right now. I could probably do the math of what that scale would be, but we're only talking that's 4 degrees Fahrenheit over 0 on the row scale. I don't think I have to point out the goose flesh that I had, the goosebumps that I had on my skin of how cold I was. Once again, 4 degrees, only 4 degrees above what I would call freezing. Now, some of you think that's crazy, including my wife. I understand that, but I can't help it. I mean, and I've told them, and I've been in the hospital, unfortunately, a lot this past year. I have told them that I want hot blankets. I always feel like Mona Lisa Saperstein from the TV show Community, because I always am like, no, Parks and Rec. That was it. And she was always asking for money. Well, I was always asking for warm blankets, please. Oh, does this voice work? Let's see.
Warm blankets, please. Nope, this doesn't work. Sorry, people, I'm out. Bye.
So this goes back to I forget that you can see me now when I change the voice. I do forget. Now, let's be honest. I forget. I forget the camera's there. Even though I'm looking at it, I'm pointing and doing blah, 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 I often forget the camera is there. So when I do the voice, you may see my face make facial something or others, expressions. Yeah. But anyhow, anyway, it was cold in here. I went and got this sweatshirt. I am now much warmer. The way we move things, unfortunately, my desk sits right over a vent, the vent in the floor. Now, the back side of the desk doesn't go all the way to the floor. It goes about 6 inches above the floor. And it's literally like where that is, what I would consider the back. And it's a few inches from the literal back, maybe 9 inches. I measured it. Oh, shoot. No. Yeah, I know. I'm just always getting them wrong. Bobby's like, yeah, I know. I'm well aware. I do have that episode with Jason coming up. We need to talk. We'll talk about Bobby and Jason in just a little bit and how that relationship's going. Just kidding. So no, Bobby joked. I called her at work on her work line instead of her cell phone. A lot of times I'll call her cell phone, which she doesn't carry, but she'll see it on her watch. If she can answer, she'll go find her phone and answer. If she can't, she just hits decline, and then I know. But for whatever reason, I think she may have called me off for some reason off their landline from her office. So I called back, and one of the young ladies at the front answered, and I don't usually call there. So I have been known to make a joke or two with someone. And so I said it's her, what did I say? Her tall, I forget. Anyway, so I said it's her husband, basically. In a more loquacious way of, I don't like it. I don't usually use words like loquacious, so I don't. So I said it in a very robust and vibrant manner. I would rather say it like that, I guess. Dang brain. Give me a second. That's what she said. See, and that was the right one, the trombone on there. Anyhow, anyway. I mean, the last thing I remember talking about shirts and stuff. So great. Now, so I said bury the lead. I'm now 38 minutes into this. Oh my God. This is probably going to be a 2-hour show. I don't want it to be a 2-hour show. I have video games to play. Kind of. I mean, my thumbs don't particularly want to always do what the joystick does. Now, does that sound like I am blaming the joystick for maybe deficiencies in my gameplay? Yeah, I am. I was a golfer. As a golfer, we always know it's not us. Blame the arrow, not the Indian. And I don't know, can you even do that? And can I say blame the arrow and not the Indian? I mean, I feel like I just did twice. Bobby's probably somewhere not listening to this, but if she were.
If she were, she would know that this voice is back, peoples.
Thought myself, the peoples. You've heard of peoples, haven't you? Yeah, I think you have. Anyhow, anyway. Bury the lead. So, I didn't even get to, oh my gosh. I'm 40 minutes in. I started by saying I buried the lead. because I'd actually written stuff down again before I got to what should have been the lead of this show. Then I wrote up to the very top, on top of the stuff I'd already written, bury the lead, but yeah, I didn't even got to the butt part. And I will tell you, is someone who loves a butt, my wife's butt, you don't want to stop before you get to the butt. Like that would be why? No. Do not no. If there is a chance of a butt being involved, you get to it as soon as you can. I mean, you do not want to neglect other things. But once again, if the butt, the derriere, the dairy area have you, if that is going to be in play, then hello. Okay. So I buried the lead, but so I'm going to finish that. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So this actually, like the second half had twice as many words as the first. Remember, the first half of this is bury the lead. That's what I did 41 minutes ago. The second half of it is, but I don't talk about cats, which is true. I have caused one of our neighbors to leave and actually go to Alaska. Maybe never to return to this country. And if you're like, Alaska is part of this country, I know that, but I will tell you, there is a certain number of people, and I'm talking U.S. naturals, U.S. citizens that were born maybe in a toilet, maybe not. Oh my gosh. So so we're going to get to the lead here because some of this is going to tie into the lead. Let's get to the lead. Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, this lead is not brought to you. It is not sponsored. I am not endorsed or anything else by these two, but I want to make sure that people know about them. One is Douglas Doberman in Osawatomie, Kansas, which is about 45 minutes south of Kansas City on the Kansas City line, not too far off the state line from Missouri. And I guess it is. Whatever. Osawatomie, Kansas. Douglas Doberman. If you want a Doberman, if you want a phenomenal Doberman, I cannot highly recommend Douglas Doberman to Osawatomie, Kansas. Doug Burback, he owns Douglas Dobermans. I have known him for a few years now, and he was generous enough to let me try Indy. We did not think it was going to be a try, but try to have Indy, and that did not work out. I believe that we're going to try again with a dog named Jolo. And hopefully I will be seeing my orthopedist next week. I will be at 9 weeks post-op when I see him. I think I'm going to get fully released. Sometimes it goes to 12 weeks before they kind of like, I'm good. And as long as you're still doing physical therapy, I'm good where you are. And they seem to be very happy where I am, both physical therapists for my knee, not my stroke, for my knee. So they seem to be very happy. So a dog could be coming sooner rather than later. The dog, if you see, this way, there we go. This wonderful black and tan, cropped and docked, meaning docked tail, meaning they have a short tail, going the other way there, and the docked ears, cropped ears. That's cropped and docked. So this is what I've said. Up until Indy's, when we had her, and we did not have her very long, less than 3 days. With Indy, she was the first Doberman that we had that had cropped ears. We'd always had their tails are docked within a couple days of birth, I believe. Ears are done later. We had never done ears. So we're very excited about that. You can see how beautiful. And I will tell you, the Jolo does not look too dissimilar from that dog there. So very excited about that. I also want to mention Crest Animal Hospital in Grandview, Missouri. I have known Dr. John Lyle and his wife, Dr. Stacy Lyle. I have known them for many, many years now. They are wonderful people. Actually, I should have said they're wonderful vets and even better people, because they really are. So if you're in the greater Kansas City and need veterinary medicine, if you're in the, think of Crest Animal Hospital in Grandview, Missouri. If you were thinking about getting a Doberman and you're in the Midwest, and I believe that they do ship. I following them on Facebook. I know that some of their dogs do go off to far places. I don't know how they get there, and I don't know how that's worked out. Anyway, Douglas Doberman, Osawatomie, Kansas. I can't more highly enough recommend those two. There we go. It may have been a mouthful, but it was worth it. So once again, they are both wonderful. Dr. John Lyle, he's taking care of my Dobermans always. And Doug, thank you for all you've done for me, especially post-stroke. It's very much appreciated. Okay, so the lead was that, I'm going to mention this because I wrote it down. I had written down, I don't talk about cats. Now, for longtime listeners, you may remember the cat's designation. So there is a thing called, what is it? It's when you win an Oscar, a Tony, a Emmy, and something else. An EGOT. An Emmy, that's it. An Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. It's an EGOT. So that's what it's called. That's what it stands for. EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. So I had come up with the CATS designation. So the CATS designation, CATS, is car. No. Yes. Car, airplane, train, ship. So my stroke brain. So anytime, so to get an EGOT, and I think John Legend may have one, maybe. I don't know. It's not a huge list of people that are EGOT that have won all those awards. So, and not a lot of people have had sex in cars, airplanes, trains, and ships. So I thought that designation would be great. And then I was like thinking, if you had it multiple times, you could put like an exponent number up there if you wanted to, train 4 times. Yeah. And, I do not want to be banned from any trains, neither here nor abroad, because of sexual dalliances that my wife and I may have had. But I will tell people that are listening, if you have your own car, like you have your own, like a sleeper car or something, much easier, you can get, like, it's more like sex. Like, and if you just do it like in the coach, like where you're just sitting in a chair and there's kids running up and down the aisles and stuff like that. I mean, hopefully they're not there when you're doing it. Like, we didn't see them coming, okay? And we finished, and then we stopped nearly after those kids came running up and down and up and down and up and then down. So yeah. So I would say that if you are into more traditional sex, but in a different setting, a train, so you're shaking, you're moving, you could pretty much probably just lay there, and the train, if you get like hit a corner or something, yee, oh my gosh, you might both find something you like. With the being out on the coast, that's more like, if you're into like going to freak offs, that's probably more, because there's probably going to be If not definitely someone watching you, a good chance of someone watching. Like I remember Bobby giving me a hand job in the coach section where we're sitting. Our friends, they were sitting a few rows back and across. They totally couldn't see. Could they hear me moaning? Probably. Is that what brought the kids to my potential rescue? Probably. When they said, "Hey, mister, are you all right?" From the 2 rows up where they stopped. Now, this is post-COVID, so there's not a lot of people that are on this train. Or maybe it's pre-COVID because of Rick and Dawn being there. Anyway, these kids, so I think they heard, like whatever sounds I was making. I don't know what sounds they were. They were very positive. They were probably very encouraging to Bobby. Like, go, go, go. I'm almost there. That's the sound I need on there. And you're like, why would you need that sound on there? Really? I have 6 episodes about, toilet babies. Side note, fuck, I'll probably never get back to whatever I was just talking about, but that's all right because this is important. Listen up, people. I am 37% positive this was not a dream. Now, do I take drugs post-stroke that cause me to sleep fucking fudging hard? Yeah, they do. It was 51 minutes before I let a cuss word out, I think. Hold on. Thank you. I'll let you get creepy if you want. I mean, it seems like it ends faster, but that doesn't make it better. Like if I'm doing something creepy with Bobby and it ends faster, that doesn't make the fact that I did something creepy with Bobby with her. Once again, I think I needed that one there. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, a cat's designation. That's not what I was talking about. I was going to talk about cats. And then I thought about something that I had said, which was conflicting in my head. And I was like, no, I can't have this. Hold on. Do I have a robot sound? This says large robot. Are you guys ready?
I am a large robot. Oh, my head, people, Bob. I don't know.
That makes my head hurt. I mean, does this...
Does this make my head hurt? No. The fact that I had to hit like 18 buttons to get here wasn't my fault. Yeah, definitely. But who's keeping track?
It's me, God, I'm keeping track.
Dang it, this would be so much better if I was doing audio only. Because then you can't see me. Like now you can see me, so you're like, that is still Ro. He just changed his voice. He didn't even change his voice. He just talked like he normally does. He charged from pitch up to disguise voice. That's all that was. If you weren't watching, I almost guarantee 41%. Like, I feel like Jimmy the Greek. And if you're young and you're like, that sounds racist, Jimmy the Greek, I think he called himself that. Like back in the 70s, 60s, probably 50s, definitely, you could nickname yourself. Like, and then somewhere that fell out of favor and you didn't get to nickname yourself anymore. Like, do you think I'm the one that nicknamed myself Guy with a Big Dick?
Hold on. Dang it, I pushed the wrong button. But if a guy was to have a big dick, this is probably the voice he'd have. Hey, what's up, baby? And she'd be like,
oh no, you have such a big dick.
I'd be like, how do you know?
She'd be like, your voice.
I'd be like, yeah, then we'd like fist bump. Or, hear me out, we just fist.
Is that not a sound? Oh, I thought I hit another sound. Bow, 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 bow. Okay, so let's get back to the lead that I buried 55 minutes ago. So, Bobby, if you're still with us, you're not. If you were still with us, or like if you're waiting to get into heaven someday and they're like, oh, we have some music you can listen to before you get into heaven, and you have to listen to each one of my shows in its entirety before you get into heaven, which now that I've said that out loud, I think would be hilarious. Like, that's, oh my gosh, that's when you'd know you were in hell. See, I need to change those two. I really want I want this one to be where the other one is, the trombone. Yeah. I mean, and that's a sad trombone too. Okay, so now that I'm an hour in, that I've buried the lead and talked about cats, and not that, once again, not the cats designation. I was going to talk about cats. As I was writing stuff out and as I was discussing with my wife, which I often do. Now, discussing with my wife, that may be a stretch. I talk, she is there. So I don't know whether she listens. I don't know whether necessarily I guess she doesn't need to listen. That was some good English. Doesn't need to listen. I don't know why I put a lisp on at that time. Oh, maybe if I spoke like Jason, then I wouldn't need to have all these other things like a lisp. Do I know that sounded like that Robin Right pen? And I know that's not the right Robin, but the one that did Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I'm Robin Thicke. That's not right either. But it was a Robin Bo Bobbin. I don't know. Don't care. Okay. So the bleed has been buried. 57 minutes ago, this was buried. Like literally with me. This should have been, oh my gosh, can you believe this? So within the next 2 to 5 weeks, there is a okay chance, I don't know how to best put that we will be having a Doberman come and we will be its forever home. I really want to have a Doberman back in my life. Bobby would rather not have a dog. Not having a dog really frees us up. So a week from today, from recording this, so I'm recording this on July 15th. A week from today, it'll be a year since we had to put down our last Doberman. She had really bad spinal stenosis. She had trouble walking. She was in pain all the time, unless we drug the snot out of her. Then she wasn't in pain, but she wasn't really with us either. So at 8 years young, we had to put Dakota May down. And so that was July 22nd of last year. So it'll be about just over a year since we've had a dog in our house full time. So we did have Indy come in. Indy was here for about 3 days. And I was not ready. So Douglas Doberman had a wonderful dog, Indy, that he thought would be perfect for me. Indy would have been perfect for me. However, I was around 3 months post-stroke. This should go on the stroke show tomorrow too. Ooh, I can stretch that out, the next one. That's the official stretch out. Like when Bobby looks at me and she's like, that's it. And she's like, can you woot? And I'm like, yeah, give me a second. Hold on. So I just knew I wasn't ready. I wanted a dog desperately. I thought I wouldn't get another chance. For some reason, I didn't think Doug would ever have any puppies ever. For a place that usually has puppies and large dogs and dogs that are his and dogs that are there for training. Oh my gosh. He had someone, and I don't know if this dog originally came. That'd be something I'd love to ask him. I don't know if this dog originally came from one of his litters, but was coming back for protection and bite training. Oh, what a beautiful. And that, like, if you saw that dog, you cross the street. That's why I loved it. So our girls with our Dobermans were able to control them with hand signals while they were 3 years old. So our children would be 3 years old and our Dobermans would be, and they would be able to control them with hand signals, which was awesome and amazing. So, so here are some of my concerns still. So my first time, I was not ready. I was getting used to my new brain, how things go, not having feeling in my right side. I was trying to get used to a lot of these things. It was not the right time, and I knew that. It was the best case. Indy got a wonderful home. So I am so excited for her and the life that she's getting to lead. But I mentally, I'm going to say, I believe I'm ready. I know I'm ready. So this is where the stroke brain gets to me. So my first Doberman D that I had, she was with me all the time. She went to work with me. I had this black Jeep, and she was a red Doberman, and she looked beautiful in that Jeep. And I had her, this is before airbags and stuff, so I had a 1985 CJ7 Laredo. She just looked beautiful. And she went to work with me. So I worked at a mall. But I worked into my 100 yards in, maybe 100, between 100 and 150 yards in from the door from the parking lot to our business. And you had to walk by 1, 2, 3 other business doors. One was big, wide, the other two less so. I'll be 3 yards to our business. But I would walk in with my Doberman D. I'd walk in with her off leash sometimes. We would just walk in, and she would walk, and she would go to the back, and generally she'd lay down. She had a chair that she could sit in, or I had to put a gate up. And I remember one of the guys, David, he was a stylist at the hair salon at Jones Store at Metcalf South, which I remember, gosh, that place was trying to get an appointment, not me, but women trying to get an appointment to that place. I mean, it would take weeks, if not months, to get in to see some stylist. It was crazy. Schedules were full. I knew a lot of the stylists because outside of our store was a smoking area. So they would go out there and smoke. And I've probably mentioned this before. They would go out there and smoke, especially like from 11 a.m. to like 2 or 3 a.m. 11 a.m. till 2 or 3 p.m. And when like the soap operas were on, and they would take their smoke breaks and see what was going on in the soap operas. And I would talk to a lot of, so my store had the TVs, so that's why I would know this. So they would go, "Can you turn on the soap opera?" And I'd be like, "I don't know. Can my mom get in next week?" Oh, hold on. Do I have crickets? I do have crickets. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Stephanie. So I do still have some concern. So I had a dog with me all the time. So when we slept, I sleep on my stomach. I've said that for a long time. That's one of these things post-knee surgery that I've had to deal with, getting comfortable sleeping. So I would sleep, and she would sleep in between my legs with her head up on my butt. And I apologize to Dee if I'm sure I did, ever farted accidentally during, while I was sleeping. But that's how we'd sleep every night. Even when Bobby and I met, she would still try to do that, sleep in between my legs with her butt up on her head up on my butt. That was her pillow. My butt was someone's pillow. I never thought about that. So you're welcome, D. She was with me all the time. Now, once again, so the last couple Dobermans we have, I have not had the opportunity to spend nearly 24/7 with them, which I love to train them. They are very easily trainable. They are very hard-headed. They will test your patience at every turn, but they can pick stuff up. They know. This is why they're not great police dogs anymore. A Belgian Malinois is a wonderful dog, a fearless dog, a super smart dog. But they are fearless to the point where they'll just be like, and a Doberman will be like, let's check this out. If there's a better way, let's come to something, that's. So I was with a Doberman 24/7. Went with me everywhere. I went to get food. It was with me. I went to visit my parents. It went with me. It didn't matter where I went. It was always, always, always with me. Oh, if I didn't finish, David had said that he thought, I know I've mentioned this before. David said he thought that dog was in love with him. He goes, the way it just looks at you. So, yeah. So now I know why D was so mad when Bobby came around. D was mad when B came around. That is maybe I don't know which one. It's one or the other. I'll do them both. You pick. Like you do. It should be like one of those shows where you can pick A or B. I want to go this way or that way. So, or rim shot. You pick. And then that would be determinant of what the next statement is. Seems like AI, seems like the world would take over, and seems like too much work for me to try to do. So what are some of the concerns that I'm having? I'm forgetful. So I am forgetful that I am afraid that I'm going to leave the dog outside. Which could it jump the fence and get away? Probably. I don't know. Maybe. None of our Dobermans, like you could put up the tiniest of fences, like a 9-inch, 12-inch high fence, and say no. And they wouldn't cross it. Now, it was probably more of the no than it was the actual barrier itself, because they knew when they could pass certain areas and things like that. But yeah, none of our dogs were jumping over fences and things like that. So could they so if I left him outside, I don't think I'm going to leave him outside. My personal, like when I'm just sitting there and instead of thinking stuff through my head, maybe having those conversations with the dog, or better yet, because they are so trainable. So D was by far the best. Once again, I spent 24/7 with that dog. D was by far the best trained dog that I have. If you've ever, I just recently sent Bobby and I think Trinity a video of what ended up being a bully, but a guy's at a park and it's like a phone. So it's hard to see in distance. And he's like, I can't remember if he whistles for the dog or yells for it. And you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. And then all of a sudden you see something moving, just flying, just hauling. And so then he has it stop, down, up, back up. I forget the words that he was using. So for heel, stop, down, up. And so he was running it through commands before he finally brought it to him. And that's exactly what D could do. Now, Bella was amazingly well-trained, but not to that. Like D would be put on a sit, stay, and stay seated. Bella, if I would walk away, would like lay around and kind of be like, I've assessed the situations, everything good. I can just lay here until he calls me or whatever. So she would nail the stay part. The whole sit thing, she would do it, but then once I was out of sight or something, she'd be like, I think I'm good until he whistles or calls. I would always, my recall for them was a special whistle that I had audibly, which now that I think about it may, like, how about if I lost the ability to whistle like that? Then if that's the only way that they're trained. So I'm hoping that, and my intention is that I'm going to have all this time to spend with them and I'm just going to train the crap out of them. Like, I literally want, when Bobby comes home, I want this to be the dog. And I know we would already have a dog, and this would be the dog showing her the dog she's always wanted. But if she could have a dog, because the other thing that's difficult for Bobby right now, and for me sometimes, is coming to the realization that this dog is not going to be Dakota. Dakota, because of her spinal stenosis, she had a lot of issues. She was very attached to us, me, and even our neighbor, Joe, who she saw every day. I mean, you could probably count on one hand the amount of times in 6 years or whatever it's been that we've lived next to each other that Joe had given her a good pet, like really rubbed her down. And like she just, and so when we would go out of town, Joe would come over and he'd take care of her, but he would always be like, she doesn't want to go out. She doesn't want to pee or poo or anything. It's like, okay, that's fine. But Bobby would feel that stress because she'd be like, if we were there, she would be doing better. Yeah, we don't have to, we're not there. So we don't need to worry about that. And what her and I are both worrying about right now is the fear that our next dog will be like our last dog. When what our hope should be is that our next dog is like our first two. Because while they did have some medical issues along the way, they were to the extent that we were able to manage through them. And I have been very grateful. And we have I've already mentioned the tremendous care that we and our Dobermans have always gotten at Crest Animal Hospital out in Grandview, Missouri. So I'll tell you this. So when we got Dakota, so we already had Bella. And when we got Dakota, we had seen her on TV, literally her on TV. We were fast forwarding through commercials. I've told this story before, long time listeners, suck up and listen to it again. We were fast forwarding and it showed like it was, we were fast forwarding through the commercials, but you could see, it was like old videotape. I think it was a TiVo or a DVR. So you could see it going through, which I guess you do. I mean, I'm so used to skipping so far ahead or whatever. Anyway, it was a clip for the news about these dogs that were rescued from a puppy mill in Arkansas. And it was, I believe, 70 dogs total. Our Doberman, I believe, had 8 pups and they were included in this. And so we just have it. They had mentioned that that's what the thing was about. And if it would have been any other dog, we wouldn't even gone back. We wouldn't even stop to see what the story was about. Sorry, dogs. We went back because it was a Doberman. We went back and it was a red Doberman. And so they had mentioned that. So when we called the SPCA, they were like, yeah, we do have a red female, but got to tell you, do you have any experience with Dobermans? Because they can be a handful and we really want someone that's had a Doberman for these pups on this mom. And I go, yes, we have. And I told about my history. But then as soon as I mentioned Dr. John Lyle at Crest Animal Hospital in Grandview, Missouri, they're like, oh, we're well aware of John. Yeah, we love Dr. Lyle. And so that was that's how, I mean, they sure vetted us anyway, but that's how we ended up getting Dakota. But she just had so we should have known. When we first saw her, she was about 6 weeks old and she's tiny. We have pictures of that night and she was tiny. Now, when we picked her up, she was 13 weeks old. They had to wait to get either spayed or neutered. And for puppies, they do it at 12 weeks there. Technically, they should, like females, if you're going to spay a female, you should wait probably, I'm sure it depends on breed. Don't listen to me. I am not a professional. We've waited till a year. If we have one coming in now, we're going to wait till past 1 year of their age before we do that as well. But they have to spay them. And so they spay them. So sometimes that can stunt a dog's growth. That can cause some problems, which we may have run into later in her life and things. But I don't think that was it because they hadn't. I just think she was by far the runt, which I don't care. I mean, the runt still grew up to be 75 pounds. So runt away, if you will. But her brothers and sisters, when we first saw them, they were all like the same size. I want to say like 11 pounds. When we went to pick Dakota up, I think she had gained like 2 or 3 pounds. And usually they are packing on the weight, like her brothers and sisters were. They were all well into their 20s poundage, and she had only gained a handful of pounds, if that. I think it was less than a handful. In fact, I'm almost positive it was. But our next, if we get another Doberman, which Bobby is very open to. So here's one of the issues that we've had. One of them. Bobby's afraid because of sometimes when I talk about my mortality rates that I found out there, that they're not good. And Bobby doesn't want to be with a Velcro dog that has been Velcroed to someone else now in their care. They're now in their stead. So that was one of the concerns. Well, I finally asked ChatGPT. Not that you should ask ChatGPT, which this should be on the Stroke Show next time. You shouldn't ask ChatGPT a lot about your medical condition of any kind. Probably not the best place to get medical advice, but I put in there, I wanted to see what it would say. And maybe I'm just one of those people that, it gave me something I want to agree with. But I put in, I'm like this tall, this weight, I work out this many times a week, I had a hemorrhagic stroke and my basal ganglia at this time. So I put in all this information. All this information was shared with Bobby so that she could, what do you think of that? Okay, yeah, that pretty much sums you up health-wise and current-wise and things of that nature. So I'd put all that in, and I had asked it information. And then I asked it, because it gave like generic 1 year survival rates, which weren't particularly good. But that was the generic. So I asked it could you, taking into account my health history and my current health weight, and all the information that I put in, once again verified by Bobby, is this okay? And do you think this is enough to elicit a response that we'd be looking for? And she said yes. And so my 2, 5, and 10 year are I don't know. I guess at this age, I guess if I was in excellent health, I should ask it. If I was in excellent health, not worse, say I am, and put in everything else the same, like what would my 10-year survival rate look like? So the 10-year for the average person that has had this stroke is 30%. This is survival rate. This doesn't, because this still takes into account that I have trouble doing things for myself, like cooking. Bobby will be out of town for a couple days, so everything that was hot will already be cooked. And so I'm just going to have to reheat it, microwave most likely. So for the most part, so I don't have feeling in this right hand. So if grease splatters onto me, I touch a burner, I won't have any. So most of that. So, but my survival rates. So for the normal person, it's like 30% at 5 years. And like significantly lower at 10 years. I don't remember. I just remember mine. Mine is an 80% survival rate at 10 years, which is exactly what it is at 5 years, 80%. And then a little bit higher than that at a 2-year rate. So my survival, the fact that I will continue to live and probably outlive a dog, is very good. The fact that I am still mobile enough and vocal enough, communicative enough. That sounded like that whole syphilis. This light is bright, by the way. How? Do. I'm gonna see what happened. I can't hear myself. Can you hear me? Yeah, and you'll hear me. I just plug myself back in. And see, I wouldn't even have noticed. I mean, this shouldn't make a difference whether I have this in or not. Oh yeah, now I look like I'm in the dark. I don't want that. So maybe if we do a little half and halfy, yeah, that'll work. Yeah. So that light is different in my face. I had the two smaller lights that are kind of shining behind me right now. So that one's giving me a headache. And I will tell you that is one thing I should talk about this in my next show, the stroke show. That's one thing that the headaches, I still am like, is this what kind of headache is this? Hold on, I got a sound for that. So I can talk more. I mean, I can communicate. So I should be able to train the dog. I mean, I should be able to not only train the snot out of the dog, but have it sufficiently tired that when Bobby comes home, she's not immediately greeted by a dog. So, I want to. So would I like another Doberman in my life? Most definitely. Is it the most important thing for me in my life right now? No, it is not. Do I think that it would help me? Yeah, I do. I do think it is a good time, but this is what I'm going to say. Things will work out, and I am a firm believer of that. I feel that, and I believe Jolo, which is her name, So I still have two names that I love. Mary Todd Lincoln is one that I would love to use, and Louisa Diamond Phillips. Those Joloisa, no, that doesn't work. So, and I don't know. So coming from a breeder like Doug, like, most times you get a puppy and it's 8 weeks old, 10 weeks old, 8 weeks, let's say, old, and probably doesn't have a name or that attached to a name at that point. So you can, it can be changed from Jolo to whatever, and it's not a big deal. Well, this dog, because it has gone through some pre-screening for whether it is going to be a good service dog for me, because that's also what I'm looking for and wanting in a dog, that this dog is going to be 7 months old when it comes home. 6 to 7 months old. So that means that if they use that name a lot, and sometimes they don't. So like on places like this, so we'll have multiple. Let me not speak necessarily to Doug. My birth mother, Linda, raises corgis. She generally will have multiple litters at a time. And they will segregate those litters like wherever if they have like an outbuilding or something, that however it's set up, depending on where they are. Like here geographically for a Doberman, they're going to need to be housed inside because we have extreme weather in the Midwest of the extreme cold, the freezing, the 0-degree temperatures. And then you also have, the extreme heat that we're going to have like later this week, actually, where I think heat indices are supposed to be in the 110s, 110, something like that. So the dogs need to be protected. Where my mom is in Florida, they need to be protected from the heat, but they also have animals. Corgis are, especially corgi puppies, can be eye candy for the vultures and things that are around Florida, especially Central Florida. Gators too. I mean, especially when you have flooding. So she had some water that pooled for quite some time on her land, and pretty sure there was a gator in there at that time. Here's my deal. If there's a sizable enough body of water that I'm like, oh, I could probably get in that and cool off. If it was cold water, there's probably a gator. I don't know. That's probably not even true. But I am a Florida boy. So if you, not a Florida person, did I just call me a Florida man? But you can do whatever you want. So anyway, I believe Jolo will be coming in. Bobby understands how much I desire having a dog and probably need one. I mean, I'm at the point now where I was still learning my body at 3 months, how to walk, how to not talk, but how to move and where my hands and feet and everything were. And it probably wouldn't have been a great time. And that pup was younger too. I mean, I think that Indy was 4 months old. So half the age. So she was still, and I have pictures, she was, it's funny. You see them and you're like, you're a big dog. And then when she was laying next to me, she didn't look like a huge dog at all. She looked like just this wonderful little angel. So I am glad that she is doing her best. And I know that we'll do our best. Whatever, we can always say whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And it will. I mean, I want a dog, and if it works out, it works out. And I believe that it will. It looks like everything's trending that way. But I mean, I'm also, how about if I go to my orthopedist next week? I think my knee is doing fine. My physical therapist thinks my knee is doing fine, like more than fine. And how about if I get to him and he's like, meh. That is not what Dr. Cotwall sounds like. He does not sound like a goat or sheep. I don't know. I don't know the real differences actually between the two. I know that you can pet each one of them at a petting zoo. And I have also learned that you can only use heavy petting zoo on certain people. Yeah, I got to change that button. Like, it's too far to reach. Like, no. Oh, you almost hit it. And that is not what Bobby sounds like in real life. In my mind, maybe. Did I just do an hour-and-a-half show on nothing? Like, I didn't even do the second half of the paper. The second half, once again, is on golf. Golf and the people who play. Yeah. So that's what I'll tell you what I wrote under there. And then, actually, I'll just tell you a couple things. I'm not going to go on, hopefully. Let's see. We're almost at 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 29 minutes. Let's see if I literally can sum this up within the next 5 minutes. I mean, I could read this. If I just read it, it'd take me less than a minute. I want to say even faster than that. Not doing a hyperdrive speed. But I feel like it's going to get drawn out. I mean, just me talking about it being drawn out, not actually drawing it out. Actually, I guess I am drawing it out. This has done almost a minute right here. So you're welcome. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move a couple buttons, but that's all right. Move. I think I remember. And I don't know where that song came from. So the second half, because it was gonna be, I was talking about some other stuff, and then the whole Doberman. Because I was like, I wasn't even gonna talk about the Doberman. And that really means a lot. So Bobby and I have talked this week, and I know that I have done a selling point. And we try to, I hope we're honest with each other. I want to say that I'm 100% honest with her all the time, but I've also had this stroke. So what do I know? Ha! I just felt my leg. I was like, why is my pant leg not moving? Oh, it's because I got a knee sleeve on underneath. I forgot. Hold on. Oh, which one's that? Yeah, that one. There we go. So it was going to be, I was going to do other stuff. Then the Dobermans got in. Then I was going to talk about golf, I was going to do a show on that a few days ago, or at least partially on that. So it was golf and the people who play. And then the next two is, it's a very sexy game. Like, I love golf. Like by sexy, I just mean, like, I'm really drawn to the sport of golf. So when Bobby and I first met, I think I played every day. She was still in school. I remember she would go to school in the morning till like noon, and I'd go play golf, and then we would meet back. And so I was playing almost every day. Then we had a baby. And then we had another baby. And so I didn't play for, I think, 10 years. And then I got into it, got pretty heavily into it, got into the golf industry, injured my hand, and I had surgery on my hand, my thumb, set off Dupuytren's contracture, which pulled me away from being able to hold a club to my liking, so I haven't played much. But I think I love like seeing a golf course. Like, I appreciate a beautiful golf course. Like, I remember Bobby and I were playing, I think it was Ocala Equestrian and Golf Club. Horses and golf, yes. And one of the holes, I want to say on the back nine, because I feel like we were finishing because where the sun was setting. I think it was golden hour. I'll need to find this picture somewhere. And it was either a par 3 or just our approach. And it was, so there was a pond in front of it. And I remember there was a tree to the right. So through the tree, you could see this pond. And then behind that, you could see the green, and you could see the flag. So the flag was like clear vision, but just like the tree's here. And as soon as the tree stops, then you see the flag up on the green. But this tree just had this beautiful Spanish moss, which is very common in Central Florida. The Spanish moss hanging from the tree, and it was beautiful. I took a picture. But I just think that golf, the courses can be beautiful. Hitting the ball pure, for someone that's even casually played and accidentally hit a great shot, it's almost stunning. There's a reason why pros just, when they hit a good shot, they just stare at it. And announcers will be like, oh, they're staring it down. Yeah, they are. It's beautiful. If you get to the point where you're able to draw the ball, fade the ball, so you're able to hit a high, medium, low shot. Tiger Woods always said that. I think he said those were the 9 shots. It was the high, medium, low, left, right, left, middle, right. Those are your 9 shots that you need. So being able to do that, especially here in Kansas, you have a lot of wind. So if you want to go out and play a good round, you need to be able to control the wind. And what I mean by that is be able to hit. If you have a crosswind coming from left to right, then you might have to hit a draw into that so that your ball's working and fighting into that. Ball's going to, then you have to know what, because of the wind, your draw into that, what it's going to do. Or you could decide to hit a fade. And the fade, so typically a fade is going to give you less, but it's actually going to ride the wind more on this, bring it in. So also depending on the tree. I mean, being able to picture. So there was a movie with Robert Duvall, and it was a very favorite movie of mine. In fact, I may watch it if I can remember the name of it, which I won't, and I'll have to look it up. But it was a movie about golf. And Robert Duvall, there's a lot of backstory to both him and the younger person played by, I can see his face, but I can't picture his name or know his name. That he goes, I want you to paint your shot. He gave him an easel and goes paint it. So he painted the tree and painted the shot. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Because that's what you try to look at. I mean, there's certain things like I'm aiming for this, or I'm looking for this, so I'm going to do this. So I think golf is a super sexy sport. The problem is most golfers are horrible cheaters. Like, and they don't, it's not even like they think. Like they're like they'll be like, hey, do you care if I hit another ball? No, I don't. Like, I didn't know, like, I was playing someone one day, and I think this person is one of those people that doesn't keep a handicap and then just tries to figure it out mentally. I was a much better golfer than they were. We went to play together just to play a course, and we played, and hey, can I try that putt again? Can I hit that shot again? Yeah, not a big deal. The course, we liked playing together when it was super hot out, and when there's not a lot of people on the course. So Mike and me, we would be out there with not a lot of other people, and so they were hitting second, third shots. They were, oh man, drop another ball, and almost every hole was this happening. And so I would say if it ended up being a better shot and they played it, which I didn't even pay attention to the schematics of that, because this left the realm of being actual golf once they started hitting multiple balls and fudging with their score. So we got finished, and I don't remember. I was generally high 70s, let's say 78, let's say 78 to 82. Typically is what I would shoot for the most part. I don't remember what I shot, but let's say I shot that. And Mike was not nearly as proficient a golfer as I was. And had taken all these additional mulligans, have you. Just, I was thinking, oh, they're just hitting shots. And at the end of the day, they actually added up the score and they said, hey, I beat you by 1. Now, I will tell you that I was not taking extra shots nor mulligans. The thing that I would do most on a golf course might be break a golf club. Now, I will tell you here that I never broke a golf club that did not need to be broken. It needed to be removed from playability from my bag. I can't speak for others. I've seen others throw clubs, break clubs. I remember playing once. I was partnered with I think it was me and someone I knew, and we got partner with 2 other people for a foursome. And so I don't remember who was in my cart. I doesn't remember who was with me. And we're coming up to the 17th of Deer Creek, which is shut down. I used to drive by that course. I would like to go by it now. It's totally overgrown. Like, I don't know why they shut it down. It was a beautiful course. They shut down right before the pandemic too, which that was stupid. Totally overgrown now. I feel bad, but it was just a beautiful course. I think it was a Robert Trent Jones course. And I think when he made it, he said it was one of his favorites. Just an absolutely beautiful course. Very difficult too. I mean, if you were an average golfer, so one thing I loved about, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this quick. One thing I actually loved about Deer Creek is it told you if your handicap is this, tee off from these tees. If it is this, tee off from these tees. If it is this, so it would tell you. So if you were like a 0 through 9.9, tee off from the black tees. If you were a 10 through a 17, green tees. And then, so they would have it. And then the last one was like 31.9 or higher, front. Here's the problem. Most guys, I didn't understand this. Like, I'm a big guy, I can hit it far away. But you're a high handicap. Why, if you can hit it so far, go up to that front tee and drive the green. Like, that's what. And some people are not, just don't play golf smart. Like, if your handicap on that course would dictate you're on the front tee box, but you want to be with your buds back on the blacks because they play all the time and there's sub 10 handicaps, fine, be that person. I know that person, Brad. So I'm sure I have been that person. But yeah, I would say me personally, the clubs, when I would break a club, while I was angry at the shot, you can't play with a broken club. Not only can you physically not do it if it's in two pieces, but even if you bent a club, if it was deemed it's unplayable. So if I broke a club and threw it away and it's unplayable, I can't play. You can only have so many clubs in your bag, 14. I guess I haven't played in a long time, so who knows what's allowed anymore. Anyway, I break that. So often it was my 3-wood. I find a 3-wood to either be my godsend in something I love and just hit beautifully, or it's the bane of my existence. Now, when I stopped playing, I was playing. I was in the industry. I was playing. The last year I played 295 rounds before I had this surgery, and you probably can't see the scar that goes from here all the way under to here, which is funny. Did not know. I thought they were going here and making a little incision here. And I told my wife, I go, man, it hurts from here to here. Yeah, I found out afterwards. Good communication. And I will tell you, this doctor, like I just mentioned, horrible communication with me. But I will tell you, excellent doctor. I didn't need that communication. I was just kind of shocked when they took it off, because when they took the post-wrap or post-surgery wrapping off to cast it, it was the first time I saw this. Actually, if you ask Trinity, I think I almost fainted. Just because I was like, whoa. Because I was like, that looked like my hand had almost been cut off. So, anywho, when I would break a club, I would do it so I couldn't play with it. Oh, I hated my 3-woods. Oh, I was going to say. So I was, the last clubs I got, so I was with Nike at the time. And that was just for irons. So I had 4 through approach wedge with my Nike Vapor irons. My wedges were the Mac Daddies from Callaway, Mac Daddy 3s, I think, in 2018. I would love to see what they have now. Mac Daddy's 10s, Mac Daddy 3s. I believe I had the copper finish. Shit, I haven't even looked at my golf clubs in years. They look, oh man, those put some spin on a ball. I used an Adams putter, which I love. I also have a Kmart dirt cheap dinky. I mean, it's a 3-ball putter, but it was from Kmart. It was like $9. And whenever I would go on a bad stretch of putting where I would just putting horrible. And I have a couple of nice putters. I have this Adams putter that I really like that was generally in my bag. I had the Spider Monza TaylorMade putter. And then I had the Monterey from Scotty Cameron. So I had some really good putters, like excellent putters. So I had my Nike irons. I had a Nike driver, but that didn't have to be. I mean, that wasn't in my bag. I was just doing irons with them. Wedges with Callaway. I used to be fully with Callaway. So let's see. Man, I've been with it. So since we're talking about golf, we got 15 minutes before I get to 2 hours. So why not? If you're still here, you're here. So let's finish what's currently in my bag. So I have a Nike driver. I have my Adams 3-wood, which I love. I don't know where I honestly don't know where I got this Adams 3-wood. I'm sure I bought it. Have no idea where. I don't know whether I bought it new or used, honestly. I couldn't tell you one thing about this Adams 3-wood, except I love it. And it's a strong 3-wood. So most 3-woods, if I'm remembering, are like 15.5 degrees. So this was a 13.5. So it gave me a little bit more distance. So I know that I had the Nike driver, Vapor driver. I had the Adams 3-wood. I had a, I think I had a Callaway. I'm trying to remember in my bag. I'm trying to remember of the covers. I believe that so I have my Nike driver on my cover on my driver. On my 3-wood, I actually have an American, because I think in 2018 was the Olympics. And I think that was the first year that the golf was back in. I don't know. Anyway, I have a red, white, and blue American flag for my 3-wood. Then I have a 3 hybrid, which I think, I don't remember the degrees on it. So I have a 3 hybrid from Callaway, my irons, Callaway, wedges, and then the Adams putter. So I was just trying to think of all the different clubs that I've played with, because I've jumped around a lot. So I started, in 2008, I started the first great club, and probably still to this day my favorite. Like if I could get a new set of these, I probably would. Or I had some AP 2712s that I really like from Titleist. But I had the Cobra Pro CB, which is a pro cavity back, which is a tiny, smaller head, smaller sweet spot, just amazing club. So I played those. I think I played 3 through pitch, and I love that 3-iron. I could knock the shit out of that 3-iron. I used to be able to hit the ball a decent amount. I mean, for my height and everything, you'd be like, oh, I can, like, it wasn't as long, but it wasn't like, oh, he's short. Like at the end of my golf game, when I got this thumb fixed, I was not a long hitter. Maybe a lot of times I'd use the 3-wood. I love that Adams 3-wood. If I was hitting driver 240-ish, maybe. If I hit 260, I would know it and be, oh, that's pretty good. And I mean, I used to be, and maybe never. I mean, I have my clubs. I should sell them. Okay, so the Pro CBs is what I had first. No, that's incorrect. It was the. I want to say it was the Cleveland. I want to say it was the CG4 or the irons. So I want to say it was. So those were. I don't even remember. I was probably using a Cleveland. I was probably fully Cleveland at that time. Yeah, because they had their high bore. Now I've totally gone off the rails. I've gone up from Dobermans and burying the lead to golf. So you're welcome. It's like two different shows into one. You're welcome. They had their Cleveland high bore, which was a decent driver, but it had a very distinct sound. It sounded more like an aluminum baseball bat than it did a golf club. So that was a thing. It was funny. Bobby used to always think it was interesting that I could tell just by sound what kind of club someone was using. Be like, yeah, playing that. So I had Cleveland, I think it was CG4s. Those were my first small club. Then I had the Cobra, cavity backs. Now that I've CB Pros, Pro CBs, whatever, Pro cavity backs. Then I thought I was getting into building and equipment adjustment into club making at that time, just on the side for something to do because my clubs are not normal. They're an inch long, 2 degrees up, 1 inch long and 2 degrees up. I think is how I played them. I'd have to see. I'm sure I have it written in my bag, somewhere in my bag. I know I do. And they would be able to put it on a machine and find out what my love. So anyway, I did it for myself because I was spending so much money, like having other people adjust my clubs. Make this adjustment, put this grip on. I didn't know how to put grips on. And so this is what I do. When I see someone else doing something, I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. And this was not, it was me being ageist. I saw them, I was at a driving range, but they also sold golf clubs and someone wanted a new grip. They sold grips. So it was a putter grip. I think those are the only grips they sold. So they're helping this young high school person put the grip on for the first time. And I watched them do it. And they did an excellent job. And I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. Because this is like a sophomore in high school and I'm a grown adult. I'm like, I'm just saying if they can do it, I should be able to do it. And I was. So I actually built a shop in our shed. Both of our sheds. Actually, that is not correct. Our shed in Olathe had a shop in it. You're welcome. Next people that bought our house. And then out in DeSoto, the shop was in the garage. So that's where I had, but I have photos of Morgan because Morgan played in high school. She was a very accomplished golfer and I taught Mo how to change her own grips and everything. So that was cool. And right now she's been playing quite a bit this summer, which has been awesome. So I think hopefully she'll get to play some more next week before she leaves for Europe. Hope so. Let's see what else. That was it. Oh, the only other thing, launching balls. So back in the day, I didn't go through all my golf clubs. I'm just going to try to remember real quick. And if I can't. So I went Cleveland, Cobra. Then I started building my own and I built some Snake Eyes. And they were pro. They were tiny as shit. I love those things though. But man, if you did not, you had to be a sub 10 to hit those. And I'm barely a sub 10. I mean, 6'6" may have sounded really sub 10, but not to hit those blades. They were blades. They were true blades. And I actually loved them. I remember once I took a swing at a ball that was right on the edge of the water. And so I hit it. And I didn't know it was on a rock. And so I hit that rock and the ball came out. I don't remember how the ball, I was so pissed because I damaged that club. Not like the shaft, I just like scratched it up. And I just was like, I'm the type that puts, I know if you're listening, you're a golfer, I put head covers on my irons. And everyone's like, I can't believe you put head covers on your iron. They make fun of me about that. And they're like, when I'm like just around and they'll see my club, they're like, man, those are in such good condition. I'm always like, yeah, because I have head covers on them, you morons. I've been wanting to play golf more and more though lately. Like part of me says you have not used your clubs in except twice in 8 years. Twice. I played 2 9-holes with Mo and on different days, and I use my clubs for that. Other than that, I haven't played. So I've been thinking about selling them. But if I do that, then I'm going to have to buy clubs, extend them. I'll have to do all that stuff again instead of, I just already have. So I don't know. I would really like to try to swing a golf club. And then I wonder if a service animal, if the dog would be able to be out there. Like if someone like hit into our group, I could send the dog after. Instead of being the old me and taking their ball and hitting it back at them, I could send the dog after. The dog could take the ball back to him. Okay, I still got to figure out placement and stuff like that. I'll figure it out soon. Did we hit 2 hours? No, we did not. Did I cover everything? Yeah. And the 5 minutes that I was going to talk about golf, 25 minutes. I understand, like, I totally get it. When you ask Bobby about the afterlife and spending it with me, I totally understand her intrepidation about spending the eternity with me. I get it. I want to spend it with you, babe. I do. But I totally get it because I just turned 5 minutes into 25 minutes. And I know that you're used to that and you're not always hip to that. Oh, should have done that one. So yeah. Anyway, my name is Ro. Let's see, what's the next show going to be? Oh, stroke show. I will tell you, even if you haven't had a stroke, even if you don't know someone that's had a stroke, even if you don't think you will ever have a stroke, there will probably be good information. And if you're like, well, aren't you the host of the show that's doing it? Yeah, I am. But I probably am going to have good information for you. There is a 37% chance that whatever information I give you, you will at some point go, aha. Anywho, I'm not going to draw this out for another 2 minutes and 17 seconds. See, I can do that math. I'll just make sure it's right. I could do that math. So we're at 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 43 seconds. I was able to look at that and know it was 2 minutes and 17 seconds before 2 hours. Okay. Only because it's basically 420 right now is the only reason I know that 1618, I know what 1620 is. It's 420. Okay. A stoner is going to continue to know some stuff. The stroke show is going to be great. You'll get to find out what a gangly is if you don't already know. I don't think I mentioned this earlier. I was going to. This may get to 2 hours. I am pretty sure I do a lot of drugs post-stroke. I sleep a lot of stuff going on. I'm pretty sure that I just read some article or saw an article that I sent to Bobby so it wasn't lost, where a guy was born in a toilet. And then his house was shaped like a toilet. Why, you ask? I don't know. Have I seen it? No. What does that mean? I don't know. There are a lot of questions. Don't ask me. I didn't write the article. I'm just telling you. But I think that, and if this guy was literally born in a toilet, although I think he's dead now. I think it did say that. Which would make sense. You're going to grow out of that toilet or you're going to die. See, that really does need to be lower. just for reachability. Not even talking about the stroke. That was with my good hand. Yeah. I still would love to find someone that was born in a toilet. Like, when did you find out? Did it change your life? What was your life like before that? Did you say, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense? Like, maybe that's the first person that invented eating ass. Like, it seems like that was invented recently. So maybe it was invented here in America. Someone was born in a toilet, so they were used to seeing the ass. Because this person thought they were taking a poo, they had a baby. So you could see where maybe the baby grew up liking asses. Look at that. Bam! I know. I was at an hour and a half, and I had it all ready to wrap up. I mean, it would have been wrapped up nice, like a present at Christmas or Hanukkah or any other holiday that you participate in that gives gifts. Could have been wrapped up like that, but no, thank you. I'm going to take this another 25 minutes. That's like, I was going to say sex, me and Bobby. She's like, I think that went 25 minutes too long. Actually. Sorry, babe. Anyway, my name's Ro. This show's called The Stone Genius, but you knew that. That's why you're here. And if you've listened to 2 hours of this, I congratulate you. Oh, the creepies. I cut it off early, so you just got the creepies. That's why I may have jumped. Like, if you look, like if you go back and look when they came on right there, I may have been a little bit startled. I was not, I was expecting more applause and cheering than I was just some sort of sexualized grunting and groaning. Anywho, my name's Ro. I'm often stoned. I'm always a genius. I got to get used to this too. I think I've been talking over it. I need to get used to having a big in my face. Actually, we would be doing well financially if I didn't have a gag reflex. My name's Ro. Bye-bye.